control and coordination. So this is a very important chapter in biology. So this chapter deals with how our body has been controlled and coordinated to perform the day-to-day activities. For example, digestion has to go on its own pace. Even without we thinking, the digestion should happen. Likewise, respiration should happen in its own pace. Excretion should happen, reproduction should happen. So, and also transportation should happen. In the previous chapter called life processes, we saw the 4 important life processes, which is digestion, respiration, transportation, and excretion. So all of this should happen in its own pace without any disturbance. Now, apart from these 4, there are other things that also happen in our body, like growth and development of the body. So which means we have to grow in terms of height and weight, in terms of muscle mass. And also if we get hurt, or usually also our skin peels off and we get new skin cells. Most of the cells die and there is a renewal of new cells and all of that. So there needs to be a coordination of all this and also a control in which this is done. So this chapter mainly deals with 2 systems. And the whole idea of this chapter is to learn about the growth and development of the human being. So this is understood and also even response to the environment. So this growth and development factor comes in the second half, which is more of coordination. So how we grow, what are the factors that are responsible for our growth? What are the factors that are responsible for our development and all of that? And also in the first half of the chapter, which is control, we are going to learn about how we are responding to the external stimuli. So stimuli is a very important word with which I would like to start the chapter. Stimuli is the plural form and stimulus is the singular form. So stimuli or stimulus basically means that there is a trigger from the external environment. There is something happening to which you are responding in a particular way. So how you respond, that comes under control. So basically the whole chapter is with respect to control, I would say response to external stimuli. When I say external stimuli, I mean whatever is coming from the environment. I'll give you examples in short span. Also, coordination means growth and development of the body. So this is the very basic idea of this chapter with which we are going to start. So coordination, basically the second half of the chapter deals with the growth and development of the body, and the initial part of the chapter, which is more of control, that deals with the response to external stimuli. So now let us get started with response to external stimuli. When I say stimuli, it can be anything. For example, imagine you're riding a bicycle to the school in the morning, and there is a lorry which is sending some kind of a sandstorm. Like the sand is flying, and because of which you will automatically close your eyes, or you will show your hands like this. You will try to shoo away from it so that the sand doesn't affect your eyes. So basically, you are seeing the sand is coming and you are responding to it. You are not accepting the whatever it comes, right? So you're responding to that external stimuli. Here, the stimuli is through eyes. You are seeing something and you are doing like this. If there is a bright light that is focused on your eyes, immediately you do like this. That's also a response to external stimuli. So this response to external stimuli can happen through 5 ways, which are called the sensory organs in our body. We have 5 sensory organs. So if you see something, then you close your eyes or you do like this. That is one way of response to stimuli that is acquired through the eyes. Now nose. For example, there is a very pleasant smell. Then we try to smell it for longer time. There is a very stinky smell. Then you close your nose or you use the handkerchief. Like when we pass by garbage dump yards or whatever. So then we usually close our nose. So this is also an response to external stimuli, which here it is smell. Likewise, we can also respond to taste. For example, if there is something very tasty, delicious, you keep on eating. There is something that is very, like it's full of lime or something like that, then immediately you spit it out. That is also a stimuli to taste. And also there is stimuli to sound. For example, if there is a loud thunder, then you close your ears. Or there is very pleasant music, then you try to perceive it even more. So that is response to sound. Also response to touch. Certain surfaces like sofa covers or something which are very velvety, you keep on, which is very smooth, so you want to keep touching it. Certain surfaces which are very hot, Like for example, if you just touch a cooker or a candle, which is very hot, then immediately take your hands off. So, or if there is something sharp, like a compass or something, so if it pricks you, immediately you take it off, like thorn or something. So these are the 5 ways of responding to external stimuli. The stimuli from external factors can also be perceived through 5 senses: through your eyes, through your nose, through your tongue, through your ears, and also through your skin. So the way you respond to all these 5 sensory organs is 5 senses is also very different. So that is what we are going to start this chapter with. So as you all know, how do I respond to external stimuli? For this, a very important system we are going to learn, which is called the nervous system. So the first half of the chapter deals with the nervous system, and the second half of the chapter deals with the endocrine system. Okay, so nervous system deals with nerves and sending the electrical impulses and all of that, which I'll be discussing in some time. Endocrine system deals with hormones. The hormones are basically responsible for growth and development of the body. The second half of the chapter, I'll come back to it after some time. The first half of the chapter is what we are going to see, which is basically the nervous system. There are 2 types of nervous system in our body. One is called the central nervous system. The other one is called the peripheral nervous system. So this is in short abbreviated as CNS, and this is abbreviated as PNS. Now, what do I mean by this? Like we have digestive system, excretory system, and all of that, our body also has something called as the nervous system, which is further categorized into central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. So what do I mean by this? If I imagine this to be the brain, you know very well that there is a long stem that is coming like a tail from the brain. This stem is called as the spinal cord. So this is brain, and the large stem-like structure, large and long stem-like structure that drops down from the brain is called the spinal cord. So these 2 constitute the central nervous system. So this is brain and this is spinal cord. So these 2 put together will come under the central nervous system, because in the nervous system, these 2 are the most important organs. Without the brain, there is no nervous system. So central means they are of vital importance, and also something that is protruding down beneath the brain and goes till the end of your backside of your navel, that is spinal cord. Both of these put together is called the central nervous system. Okay, we will look at the functions of each of these in short while. So that is the thing. Now, the nervous system doesn't complete with this. It is not yet complete. So there are some nerves which will come from the brain. There are nerves which are connected to the brain, and there are nerves which are associated with the brain. Such nerves are called as the cranial nerves. And there are other nerves which originate from the spinal cord also. Like how the root hairs will originate from the main root. Likewise, there are some nerves which will originate from the spinal cord also. So those nerves are called as spinal nerves. And these 2 put together constitute the peripheral nervous system. Now, why is this called the peripheral nervous system? Even in the computer science, when we use computers also, so the main central components are nothing but the CPU, the monitor, and all of them. The peripheral devices are nothing but the accessory devices, other things that we use. For example, a joystick or a keyboard or a mouse, they are called as peripheral. So peripheral usually means other outside components. Okay, so basically the cranial nerves originate from the brain and spinal nerves will originate from the spinal cord, and those put together is called as the peripheral nervous system. So peripheral usually means outer or secondary importance. They are not of so primary importance. That is very important. Now, why are they called cranial nerves? Is because the brain is protected by a hard bony box. Okay, we call it as skull, isn't it? In English, we call it as skull. So it has a very good protection, like how we have helmet. Our brain also has a protective layer, and that bony box-like structure, okay, is known as cranium. Okay, this bony box in the sense it's very, very hard, and the cranium is what that protects our brain from other outside injury. For example, when we suddenly dash our head against some wall or something, the brain is still protected from mechanical injuries like this, and that is because of a box that is called as cranium that's present. And it's also called as the skull. So this is very important. So all these put together constitute the nervous system.